Hey there, fellow fizzy drink enthusiasts. Today we are diving into every possible issue you might encounter with your Sodastream and exactly how to fix them. Whether you've got a Terra, Art, One Touch, or any other model, these solutions will get you back to bubbling in no time. Let's tackle the most common problem first. When your Sodastream isn't carbonating properly, if you're not getting enough fizz, start by checking your water temperature. Room temperature water actually carbonates better than cold water. Also, make sure you're not overfilling the bottle. That fill line is there for a reason. Going over it can lead to weak carbonation and potential overflow. Speaking of overflow issues, there's nothing worse than having your Sodastream spray water everywhere. This usually happens when you're pressing the carbonation button too quickly or aggressively. Use slow, deliberate presses and wait a second between each one. If you're still getting overflow, check if your bottle is properly locked in place. You should hear a definite click when it is secured. Now let's address those annoying leaking CO2 situations. If you hear a constant hissing sound after inserting the gas cylinder, don't panic. First, unscrew the cylinder and check the seal for any debris. Even tiny particles can break the seal. Clean the area with a dry cloth and try reinserting the cylinder. Make sure you're screwing it in firmly but not over-tightening. That can actually damage the seal. For those dealing with bottles that won't lock into place, there's usually a simple fix. Check the bottle's threading for any damage or wear. Sometimes the locking mechanism gets stuck. Try gently cleaning it with warm water and letting it dry completely. Also, ensure you're using genuine Sodastream bottles, as third-party bottles often don't fit properly. If your machine seems to be using CO2 cylinders too quickly, first check for that telling hissing sound which indicates a leak. But also consider your carbonation habits. Using more presses than necessary doesn't make your drinks fizzier. It just wastes gas. 3 to 5 presses is usually plenty for most drinks. Many users report problems with the carbonation button getting stuck. This is often caused by syrup or sugar residue making its way into the mechanism. Never add flavoring before carbonation. Always carbonate plain water first. If your button is already sticky, try pressing it rapidly several times while the machine is disconnected from the CO2 cylinder. For those with electronic models like the One Touch, error lights can be confusing. A flashing light usually indicates either a low CO2 level or an improperly inserted bottle. If all lights are flashing, unplug the unit for 2 minutes to reset the system. This often resolves electronic glitches. Let's talk about strange tastes in your carbonated water. If you're getting odd flavors, first clean your bottle thoroughly with warm water and a drop of dish soap. Never use hot water or put bottles in the dishwasher. Also, check the expiration date on your bottles. They do need to be replaced every few years as the plastic can degrade. When your Sodastream is making unusual noises during carbonation, check if the bottle is properly aligned. A slight tilt can cause irregular carbonation sounds. However, if you hear something that sounds like grinding or scraping, stop using the machine. And check the CO2 cylinder connection point for any damage. For those finding water droplets inside their machine, this is actually normal condensation and nothing to worry about. However, if you're seeing larger amounts of water, check if your bottles have any hairline cracks. These can develop over time, especially if you've been using very cold water. Some users report difficulty removing bottles after carbonation. Don't force it. This can damage both the bottle and machine. Instead, gently twist the bottle forward and back while pulling down. If it's consistently difficult, check the locking mechanism for mineral buildup from water splashes. Here is a pro tip about storing your Sodastream: keep it away from heat sources and direct sunlight. Excessive heat can affect the pressure regulation system and cause inconsistent carbonation. Also, store unused bottles with their caps loosely attached to prevent odors from developing. Remember to regularly clean the nozzle where the water sprays. Use a damp cloth to wipe it down and ensure no mineral deposits are building up. This simple maintenance step can prevent many carbonation issues before they start. One final note about gas cylinders. If your cylinder feels frozen during use, that's completely normal. The rapid release of CO2 causes this cooling effect. However, if your cylinder feels frozen, even when not in use, you might have a slow leak and should check the connection. Keep in mind that while these fixes work for most issues, Sodastream does offer good warranty coverage. If you're still having problems after trying these solutions, don't hesitate to contact their customer service. They're usually very helpful and might have additional model-specific advice.